Good afternoon, Geetanjali ji. Good afternoon, Neil.
Good afternoon, Kalyan. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, 1 second. I need to just make some settings. 1 second.
Yeah. My camera will be off. I just came from outside. I will like to switch off my camera if you don't.
People keeping camera off are not allowed.
Grand exception for me today.
You are. It's been quite an exception for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Preeti ji is coming and she will conduct the session today. Hi, Kalyan. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing fine, Geetanjali ji. Hi, Preeti.
Prepared with your stories already?
Yeah, I have them. So,
Hello, good afternoon.
hi, Preeti. Good afternoon. We'll get started. Can I share?
Good afternoon.
Share what?
Okay, so today we are going to review the stories, right? In the StarL framework, the repository of the stories, okay, that we can use confidently in the interviews. Is that's the
Yeah, that's the agenda.
Yeah, that's the agenda, right? So I have created those stories.
Oh, okay, excellent. Gitanjali, I just shared a document with you. I thought everybody is going to be around, but
No, actually, whoever is, let them
Yeah.
work.
yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and share. Okay, so if you can enable me sharing.
1 sec, I will enable. Preeti, you wanted to share something as well, or do you want to
Yeah,
start?
that document that I sent you, I thought.
Okay, you wanted me to share that.
Yeah,
Okay, Kalyan wants to share something. Let's finish that
Yeah,
up.
okay, let him go ahead.
Yeah.
He's already a champion in his interview, so I don't think what I have written there is required for him. So you can go ahead. Neil also is quite good with his
Yeah, hello, Preeti.
narration. Hi Neil, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
कसं काय? रविवार दुपार
Oh my God. You can speak Marathi. Wow.
शिंदे उबाळे.
Uh-huh.
Neil, you are Marathi?
Yes.
Yeah, you can make out
Maharashtrian.
his whole accent is Maharashtrian accent.
ऐसा अच्छा मुझे इतना भी
He
नहीं
speaks
पता लगा.
Marathi and English.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, Kalyan, you can expand a bit so that yeah.
Can you see? Is this okay? I have zoomed
Yeah,
out.
this is readable, correct.
Okay. So what I have done is here is my thought process. Let's first understand my thought process. Okay. Yeah, so I've used this the StarL framework, which is the situation, the task, okay, the actions, results, okay, learnings, okay, and I've added one more column here, which is basically the key performance metrics of this particular story.
Okay.
The idea is each one of these should finish in about 90 to 120 seconds.
Yes.
Okay. And what I've done is I looked at the lessons learned documents over a period of 6 to 7 years. I retrieved them. I've sort of, sanitized them, etc. And from those lessons learned, we typically do what is called as a a postmortem of at the end of every project or program. And the lessons learned is a must that we need to compile at the end of each of those projects or programs. So I took them and then I categorized them into, if you see here, the strategic focus area is about 5 buckets. And those 5 buckets are, one is the platform architecture and cloud migration. So this is, let's say, the most impactful story that I'm going to present, okay? And likewise, there is a package, service offers, and analytical apps, right? Then there is crisis management and customer salvaging, then practice leadership and team scaling, then thought leadership and industry influence. So I have put my stories in these areas,
Buckets. Yeah, yeah.
okay? And let's say I'll probably cover, pay attention to, I'm going to read through them. So if you can just pay attention to the content that I've put there and make your feedback, and maybe I'll probably cover 3 or 4 of them, okay? And then you can capture your feedback and we'll come back to what improvements have to be done and what needs to be done for each of these stories, right? Now, so this particular story is for a top APAC media network where we were doing an on-prem to cloud migration, and the data volumes is about 5 terabytes, and this is migrating onto the AWS. Now, the situation was we were given a 12-hour downtime window, but then we ran into an issue wherein we were breaching the 12-hour window and heading into a 28-hour blackout. So this is a breach of that contract. Okay. Now, the impact of this is core reporting platforms will come to a ground halt. I mean, this is going to be the executives' suites who will become blind with respect to the programming KPIs, etc., and will destroy the confidence in the delivery pipeline. Okay. So what I did, so I assembled a quick swarm team, and I took over the complete crisis leadership and looked at the active database blackout and execute a zero defect migration without triggering a multi-million-dollar rollback scenario, right? So the actions were, I established an emerging sort of bridge. We call it as a bridge that involved Global Delivery Center, GSO teams. And so we looked at this particular situation where we were running into that extended blackout. And we found out that some of our automation tools that we were using as a part of that migration were crashing, okay, because of the target platform configuration with a 36 amp layout. So then I asked our senior migration architects to let go of the automation tools and let's put in some fixes, manual fixes, and immediately ensure that those issues get resolved and we move ahead, right? So we were able to put that into practice and we managed to migrate the entire 5 terabytes of data within that cutover time. And we were able to salvage the situation, and the customer was able to decommission their legacy engine within 15 days, right? So the learnings is, so the dependency on the automated frameworks and tools getting collapsed during the critical cutovers. So in terms of hardening the automation tools, right? I mean, we take a lot of pride in those automation tools and frameworks, but clearly they were not tested at that scale and size. So we'll have to clearly look at hardening the automation tools and ensuring that they withstand these enterprise scale migrations. Okay. So the key performance metrics for this one is the outage cut 28 hours, from 12 hours to 28 hours, ensured a schema accuracy of 100%, migration volume of 5 terabytes, and account retention of 100%. Okay, so this is the success story. I should have timed it, but I mean, if you're okay, I'll probably go ahead with the others and then maybe pause after I'm done with a couple more. Or if you want me to take your feedback now, that is also fine.
Oh.
What do you suggest, Preeti?
So how do you manage to remember this, Kalyan, every aspect of it, every critical aspect of it? Because you have lived the situation, you remember everything, is it? All the
Yes,
STA
exactly.
aspects. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Only thing is, I would say, just to look that you're very specific with things, very keen on things. If you could just narrate in point format, A, B, C, or say we did 3 things, this is what it was. This was a major challenge, and there were another ancillary 2 issues or 3 issues.
yeah. So Preeti, so what we'll do is in terms of narrating that, we probably need one more session.
Okay.
Okay. So my focus and since day before yesterday was compiling first. I wanted
Yeah.
to sort of spend some time and then
Okay.
compile these stories. Okay.
Good.
And sort of bounce it back with you and with Gitanjali ji, right, and the others to ensure that these are worthy candidates. Okay. Then building the narrative, making it precise, concise, and then bringing that wow factor, we'll probably need one more session.
Okay.
So if
Have
Gitanjali
you?
agrees, we'll probably need one more session where I have to bring that out emphatically and ensure that that impact and the wow factor comes out. Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead. You
Yeah.
can go next.
So the second one is about package service offers and analytical apps, right? So this is a Fortune 500 retailer, and they were bleeding, their marketing return on investment due to completely fragmented customer profiles, which are scattered across regional silos. A very clear problem statement. And they were stonewalling and flatly refusing a master data management transformation because of the fear that that program will be a multi-million dollar upfront cost and high historic industrial failure rates of such programs, right? Which needed a huge governance team to be there. So the task here is I have to design an innovative and low friction. The friction, we saw where the friction is, packaged consulting service that could de-risk their commercial decision and demonstrate rapid profile unification and unlock a stagnant platform sales cycle. So because of that risk, because of that objection, they were not able to realize a lot of potential sales revenue, right? So the action was I brought down the barrier by building a very focused service offer called MDM Starter Package with a very low entry barrier, a fixed fee, 6-week productionized consulting engagement. And this was pre-built, bundled and pre-built with customer matching logic, automated schema discovery scripts, right? And a very sort of solid waterproof ironclad delivery client, right? And this small package, when it was implemented, it unlocked their core sales deadlock, converting a hesitant prospect into multi-year enterprise platform transformation, and it increased their deal velocity by 40%. That's the result. Okay. So the learnings is first is to understand the customer situation, not just bombard them with your sales, your service offers and packages. Get into their shoes, understand the issue, understand the resistance, and then tailor your service offerings to that need so that that barrier comes down and it becomes palatable. Okay. And that is the learning from this. And the impact of this is the deal velocity has increased by 40%. And this whole thing was implemented in 6 weeks. And the desperate silos that were unified were 3. And this has resulted into a multi-year contract for our company and for our practice.
So
Yeah.
you have taken 2 minutes and 36 seconds for it.
Right. Okay. Like I said, Gitanjali ji, so why I'm
Yeah, I
taking
was
the
just
time.
timing it. I mean,
Right.
okay.
So please put your focus on the content and the substance of the story for now. Okay.
Okay.
Right, because I spent some time in curating this and looking at my body of work and building this. Of course, I mean, I used Claude and GenAI to build this, but then it took some time to curate this, right? Now, the question to you, to Preeti and to Neil is the impact coming out? Is the story making sense? Is the story really telling you that I have led a project, I have led, let's say, a program with real impact, with significant value addition, right?
Yeah,
So
it does. It does.
that has to come. Okay. Now I'll take one more and then I'll pause. Okay. I know we have taken like 15 minutes now. Yeah. So this is in the category of the crisis management and customer service. So this is a top 5 US healthcare provider, and they're executing a Netezza modernization effort and Netezza to our platform modernization effort. But we were severely blocked and hindered by the healthcare provider not being able to provide their database schemas and the data due to severe HIPAA constraints. We didn't know this earlier. We were not made aware of this. And this caused us to sort of, go completely blind with respect to how do we go about doing this migration. And we were making a whole lot of assumptions, and those assumptions were leading to data truncation, cascading code mismatches, and the customer was threatening an imminent program cancellation. So I got in and I was given the responsibility of ensuring that this tailspin doesn't lead to a catastrophic situation. And I was asked to reestablish a baseline for the modernization and provide a blueprint. So the way I went about doing this is I've constituted a synthetic dry run environment. And since the customer could not expose their data, I guided them to extract empty DDL schemas without any PII data, right? And build the structural replicas. Okay. And so we then used our synthetic data generation engine to populate those schemas and sort of ensure that this is at least representative of this customer, of this HIPAA customer, and went through the migration and modernization program with this framework, right? So the result is it completely eliminated that blind development exposure, achieved a 100% environment setup success rate, and it caught hundreds of query mismatch defects, ensuring that the production rollout was smooth, fully saving the high value account from churning. Okay. So the lessons learned is we have to understand the nature of the customer, a strict regulatory and compliance constraints cannot be treated as any other customer situation. So for that, processes to extract the data structures and to generate the synthetic data have to be built, have to be there in place, right? So the performance metrics is the synthetic environment and setting up a parallel environment was a 100% success. Compliance breaches was 0%, almost a 100% core defect remediation, and multi-million-dollar platform revenue saved. Okay. So I'm going to pause here. Let me stop sharing. So these are the 3, and I have built like 25 more. I like them. I've looked at it across these different categories, right? So I'll pause before I proceed any further. Okay. So how do you feel? Are these stories resonating? Would you feel these stories make sense to the interviewers? Would they be appealing? Preeti.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the the latest that you read out, the HIPAA thing, I mean, it's not just company regulated, it's industry regulated, right? It's to do with US health insurance information and stuff like that. So it's like a heavy story. So it could be, I mean, if your interviewer has seen a lot of those cases, this would strike for him. So this is a very good case. So I think it's 25 you have done is like credible. You can probably distribute it to everyone.
What's that? What's
The
that?
25 stories you
25.
have created. You created 25 stories. 25
Right,
cases.
yes, yes. See,
Awesome.
because I believe in this, okay? And I know that if we build this library, and I think I was telling Geetanjali ma'am the other day, right? And if let's say, if we become very good at reproducing them, own them and reproducing them, right, with ease, they'll make a big impact. Okay, as far as the interview feedback is concerned, right? So, yeah.
It's like if every question in the interview is answered with a star, you nail it. You waste it. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah.
25, I think, have covered everyone, every one of those scenarios.
Yeah. So that's why I've categorized them into those 5 areas, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and I did a mixed bag because I didn't want everything to be pretty much tech focused. I talked about salvaging a customer situation, a people situation,
Yeah.
conflict resolution, bringing in thought leadership, right? So I've put them all, and then at least, I mean, it came out to be a nice mixture of those stories. I'm not saying that there is no scope for improvement. There is definitely scope for improvement, and that is what I want you, Geeta ji, and others to critique them and make them even better, right? So once this is done, once this repository is now solid, then, bringing it out in a crisp and an emphatic, to ensure that it creates that impact is the next step. Done. So if
Yeah.
you have that, I think we'll ace the interviews. That is at least that's why, I am so fond of this particular exercise, and I believe in it.
So, how do you arrive at these 25 scenarios, Kalyan? Is
Okay,
this like a
so-
compilation of all the questions that you were asked during your interviews?
So it's a combination. Okay, and maybe Sujay joined now. So what I did is I looked at the lessons learned documents. Okay.
Okay.
So we are very sort of religious in creating the lessons learned at the end of each of the project. It could be failures,
Okay.
successes, etc. Right?
Right.
And those there's a rich repository of those. So
Okay.
I have sort of anonymized
Okay.
those lessons learned over the last 6-7 years,
Great.
up only a select few of them across a whole bunch of them. And from them, I have sort of, built these 25 stories. Okay. So that was, and also included some of the interview feedback that I have received. So that was my methodology of creating this.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Kalyan, one question to you. So in these lessons learned, what you have, I mean, you took one of the major source as a lessons learned. So I wanted to know that, all these lessons learned, were you personally always involved, or you also were kind of knowing this, and then you are able to extrapolate it?
See, all these projects are the ones where I'm involved. Okay.
Okay.
But my involvement differs in different capacities.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So in some of them, because of the strategic nature, my involvement is probably much more than the others, where there's probably my team or my architect who is handling the things, right? So I took a mixture of them. So,
Okay.
but I'm involved. I was involved in all of these, but
Okay,
the
very
extent of my involvement is the degree. It varied.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think then fair enough, because I was only thinking that if somebody goes somebody pick a particular story and go into the detail. If somebody from the technical angle, and if they want to really understand the technicalities of it, then how is your position? So that's fine then. So you are involved in some or other capacity, in and out about the story, and that's a beautiful. I think that's a really good example how you could collect the stories. That also inspired me, because we also at Bosch we have a lot of lessons learned, but then more focus on technical. But as you rightly mentioned, we have to bring different angles, be a thought leadership, strategic, or customer centricity. So all these things we have to see, and we have to beautiful, Kalyan. I think many dimensions are coming out. I could say that really nice.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks. Yeah. I don't know, Sujay, when you joined.
I think during your second story, he was here.
Yeah, I heard part of it. So what I felt is like, maybe we can elevate this little bit more. I don't know how it can be done, but one thing is whenever for every point we can explain the impact and connect to multiple accounts, multiple customers. Like that HIPAA thing, if you make it organization wide and make it a practice across organization, then it can be a point in the sales effort itself, which can increase the revenue, right? So maybe you can tell for 5 customers or 5 accounts started using it, and we were able to retain the account and gain 5% more revenue. It was a simple thing, but when it was grown and standardized,
Yeah.
the value is for the thought process, right? Because after that, it is just tactical implementation. So that way you can elevate it. Maybe people will remember more, I guess.
Yeah. So wonderful. So Sujay, so here for today's exercise, my focus was on curating the stories.
Correct. Yeah.
But to bring it out and to sort of ensure that it resonates and then it brings out that impact, we will need one more session.
Yeah. It will take.
Those have to be practiced. Those have to be
Correct.
practiced.
Timing and
This-
articulation.
Right.
do
The
another
script,
session.
the script for it, and then ensuring that it brings out that wow factor and is kept to that 90 to 120 seconds, right? I think that's what Hemaji was saying.
Yes.
That will need one more session. Okay. My today's thing was building that library and getting your feedback on what is the substance. Are they weak? Are they too sort of general in nature? Right. So that was the intention of showing those first 3. Okay. Yeah.
So my question, one more question maybe to everyone. So when we go for a CTO or CXO kind of interview, these dimensions matter, or it has to be above and beyond that? Or is it I'm just discounting I don't know.
So what dimension?
I understand. I understand what he's saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for a CTO kind of a role, I think you need to at least have 1 or 2 with a much bigger impact. Okay. At the organizational level. Okay. And so in terms of, let's say, how did you dealt with the board? How did you dealt with the investors, right? How did you sort of, change the course of the product roadmap, right? And how did you bring in? So those have to be there, and I have not included them. So those are not there in my stories. For a CTO, you'll need those kind, is what I feel. So in that the Global CX Accelerator Summit that happened in February, which was the simulation was for a CTO, and there these kind of questions were asked.
Okay.
So I think it is also about, see, Sujay, I think everybody has done, most professionals have done a lot of challenging things.
Correct.
They will have a lot of credibility. But if if you want to stand out, this whole thing, this whole exercise is about how do you stand out from the rest of the people, rest of the crowd. I mean, the person who's hiring, the hiring manager, or maybe the CEO is talking to multiple people, right? So how is it that you stand out is the whole objective of doing this, because you need to have an emotional connection, and with what you do, obviously your skills are showing up. So yeah, and with these interviews, I think it's say 30 or 40% of functional, and the rest of it is behavioral. Right? How you have in that critical time, in that time of crisis, how you have managed people, maybe your client, maybe your team, and how you have communicated to both of them, plus the board and all that. So it's
Correct.
things.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, I can probably cover maybe two more if that's okay. Or if Sujay and Neil have any of theirs ready, we can review them.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
So Jay,
Oh.
I sent a message for you. This is for a CTO, what is expected.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Neil?
Okay.
Neil?
Neil is
Yeah,
missing.
Kalyan, sorry.
Yeah, if you have yours ready, you can probably
Oh no, I actually, as I said, I was out of station, in fact, away from mobile access as well. So I have not prepared anything, but then I still thought to join to understand and then prepare it later point of time. I'm not ready as of now.
Oh, okay, okay. Fine. Maybe I'll then cover, I can probably cover maybe one more, which is very close to one or two more.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So this one, so this is falls in the category of the thought leadership and industry influence. Okay. So this was a Fortune 100 retailer, and their mandate was to reduce the total cost of ownership, okay, of their platform expenses, of the platform costs, right? And their initial thought process was to simply do a forklift migration of their massive legacy data estate to cloud, from on-prem to cloud, right? Now, so this is one way. So that was what was asked of us. We could have simply sort of carry forwarded that forklift migration and migrated everything from on-prem to the cloud, right? But then in the initial 1 week itself, we saw that there is a lot of data debt and technical debt, and it's like sort of taking this garbage onto the new home. It's like you are moving to a new home, but then you are taking the entire sort of garbage and etc. also to the new home. So I mean, challenge is a slightly stronger word. And then I told the client executive that this is a very short-sighted approach, and a forklift strategy does not get them to their ulterior 5-year vision or goal that they have, which is to get them onto a modern lakehouse-centric architecture, right? So there is resistance here within the account team, because the account team, the internal account team, wants us to first ensure that this forklift is a success, because that's their interest. So what I did is I used our assessment process, Workload Design Explorer, and then brought out an output, and that output clearly talked about the entire it was almost like an X-ray of their existing platform. And that platform talked about unused data, glacial data, right? And it showed the technical debt that they were carrying on their current platform. And if, let's say, all this was left back or all this was not migrated, then their total cost of ownership on the cloud would be pretty significant difference, right? So this is what, so when this was presented to the customer's enterprise architecture team, and this resulted in a 50% total cost of ownership reduction on that platform. So this was not a typical forklift or a lift and shift, but this was modernized, removing the technical debt and removing all that data and data estates that were simply consuming the resources. So this is an aspect where a true thought leadership challenging the customer's flawed technical decisions was brought forward, and the impact of that is total cost of ownership delivered with 50% reduction. It's not 100% forklift to Lakehouse, and this resulted in a multi-million-dollar long-term account footprint. Okay, and this also resulted in the platform optimization to about 40% query gain. Right? So this is an example of bringing the thought leadership and ensuring that you're doing in spite of what was asked. You're convincing the customer to look at their data estate, their platform estate, and ensure that they take advantage of the modernization program. Okay, I'm going to pause here to ensure that this doesn't become monotonous. Okay,
So, yeah.
feedback.
High impact is always amazing. So, what feedback? I mean, the last one, I think that's why it's placed, the result is placed at the end, right? So, that's the most impactful, and that's like, because it comes at the last stop of your mind. So, good one.
Yeah. Geetanjali ji.
I'm thinking, should you speak this as the first one or the last one?
Okay, yeah, we will do that. We'll sort of, do the sequencing and try to see the way it happened is, I mean, I started with few lessons learned artifacts, and then I started building it. And then I started finding out more lessons learned. And then this started.
And why don't you discuss the top 5 that you feel were the best ones rather?
Yeah, that has to be done. Yeah, but not just looking from my lens, but I want maybe you,
correct.
Preeti ji, okay, and maybe if Hema ji has time, Sujay, Neil, also to
So I
get.
think you should put the impact where the impact was major, the results were higher. That is the ones you label them on the top 5. Because what the other person wants to hear in that 90-second kind of time frame is something that is very really evolving and really changing dimensions, right? Bringing in revenue, I mean, saving costs and all of that. So what is the impact? So bring those stories on the top, which have made the highest impact. So those are the first ones you are talking, unless a question is typically talked on some topic.
So what I'm saying is, we are not going to be able to choose which, okay, this is a bunch of them. So for against each scenario, there could be 2 or 3, since you have a good story bank. I call it.
We'll have to really read all of them, 25.
Yeah. So you can choose that way, but otherwise it's going to be based on the interviewer's question that you will have to pull that out.
Yeah.
And obviously the most impactful is going to be the favorite.
Because if a question is asked, what were the most impactful things? I mean, they won't ask impact, what were the impact that you brought? Then he has to start with the most impactful first and then go down, right?
Yeah. So Sujay, where I need your help is, so in these stories, there's not a whole lot of Gen AI, agentic AI kind of, the impact, okay? So maybe if you can review and then
Yeah, I would
pick
like
one or
to.
two of them where there's probably going to be a future potential of
Yeah,
Gen AI, because you are on the engineering side and you are like the technology guru, and maybe add a little more flavor of that, right? So I can leverage that.
Sure.
You can share your sheet, and what we can do, even Sujay and Neil also, we can share it with Hema ji as well and get her comments.
Yeah.
Possible?
So some of the patterns actually in thought leadership also, something, I mean, it's not a standard one. Something we did some time back is every customer we engage, we have a 21-day or 15-day commitment that we will show 10 ways to improve your revenue, reduce the cost, and reorg. How the inefficiencies are in the org. It all doesn't matter for data-oriented companies, but still in the data engineering or large-scale data management also, some reorganization makes sense. So we come up with this, and that template becomes evangelizing the template to the max. That becomes the driving factor, right? So then, because without that it is scattered, there's no order. People cannot think. We forget, we overlook, sometimes we ignore. But if this process is established in the first 15 days, we follow for every customer, then things like that. So I'm not saying this is just an example. And then we can look at a reorg separately, revenue avenue separately, and then any other, merger of some other small companies, bringing in new technologies from these aspects. So one thing I remember, I was part of it. I was not driving it when I was part of Verizon and Yahoo. Yahoo had 77 brands. In fact, we sold 12 of them in the 6 months, and did a large reorg. So I was involved in that, exercise. So these patterns we can actually establish. So all these will fit into that story. That's what I was trying to say, essentially. Even though this is tactical, it fits into that. So that mapping will be helpful. But for agentic AI, generative AI, I can definitely give. Even now, we are doing a lot of AI use cases.
Okay. So maybe I'll probably share one more, and then if there is, I didn't want it to be just me alone speaking, or didn't want it to be monotonous. Okay. So one which I'll probably share, and then we can probably. Okay. So this one, so if you see, this is under the thought leadership and industry influence. So this was a topic that I presented at the current 25 Bangalore conference last year. So I mean, as a speaker, you will get to know the other topics as well, at least a couple of months before the actual event, right? Because the motivation or the intention is to ensure that there's no repetition, right? And you're not presenting the same thing that, let's say, some others were presenting. So what I noticed is most of those presentations were focused on basic data streaming architectures and and trying to address how to translate real-time data events into tangible large-scale business outcomes, right? Now, I wanted to bring a different aspect, and I felt that this has to be applied to a much bigger problem statement, okay, that will have not only maybe a financial impact, but a bigger sort of, societal impact, right? So I then took this topic of the topic name was uh, disbursing social security benefits in real time. Okay. And leveraging Apache Kafka and Flink for real-time social security disbursements. And then I talked about the juxtaposing the current social security disbursing system with a to-be system which is architected on this particular architecture, and what is the impact of that. So what does it take for social securities, which typically take days and maybe weeks for the marginalized societies to get that benefits, to hours in terms of disbursing, right, to those who are needy in the times of those catastrophe or calamity, right? This was received very well, and in fact, immediately after that event, I received at least 3 or 4, leaders and companies who said that they want to productionize this and then build an offering on top of it, right? So this is something that I felt very good about. Okay, not just the regular run-of-the-mill kind of a story, but associating it with a much bigger social impact and ensuring that that resonates with the audience who are attending that particular event. Okay, again, that's it. I'll stop. Okay, feedback.
This can be converted to a product actually, right? Yesterday also you mentioned the same, I guess, right? That you were talking about this social security automation. It's a heavily red taped environment, but yeah.
Because I saw that firsthand. Okay, when I say I saw that firsthand, I think I don't know. So for those who have parents here, so we have this process of submitting the life certificate in November timeframe, right? For to provide a proof that you are alive, and then so that your pension continues. Okay. So that process is so terrifying for senior citizens. Okay. And because I've dealt with it, I've seen it, I've dealt with it. And the barrier, especially for senior citizens, is so high. It's basically the J1 Praman application, and then the process you have to provide your thumb imprints, your iris scanner, okay, and then submit that. There's an Aadhaar OTP which comes once you have done the authentication, and that you have to submit, right? That whole process is so overwhelming for senior citizens, and I've seen senior citizens breaking down for their money,
Yeah.
for the money that they are entitled, right? So this is one. And the second thing that I've seen happening right in front of my eyes, and this was in Hyderabad, is so you have this CGHS scheme, right? Central government
Health services.
health services scheme. Okay. And so typically those poor people who come from villages, okay, it's like a emergency. They come to the hospitals, and then they are denied the treatment because they did not comply with the CGHS criteria. I've seen this happening. I have seen this happening so many times in hospitals, right? And eventually a casualty happens, etc., and all that, right? So this is very close to my heart. And when I presented it this way to that audience in that particular room, right, in that breakout room, I could see that a lot of people were able to resonate with me. And then there is a need in this particular area that this has to be transformed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's all. I think from my side, I'll stop talking anymore. So these are my stories. Okay. And it would be really helpful if you all can look at it and then make them more incisive and make them more impactful. Yeah. I'm going to, I'll stop talking now. Geetanjali ji, Preeti ji, Neil, Divya, Sujay, your feedback, please.
So,
Thanks.
This you're talking about your parents and the challenges faced and all that is very nice, but what has been done for that?
No, I built this. This was only an idea. Okay.
Okay.
This is an idea. I conceptualized it. Okay. And like I said, there were few people who approached me who resonated with it. This happens. This happens in their families. This happens with their relatives. Okay. And so one time this changes, it doesn't match. Your Aadhaar fingerprint was taken 15 years back.
Correct.
It doesn't match. And when it doesn't match, you only have that November 30th window by which you have to do it. If it doesn't get processed, then your pension will not come. It gets stopped. There's no pension disbursement. And the only next window is in February. Okay, so February of the next year. And February of the next year, you have to again go and do this whole thing. Until then, you'll not have your pension. Look at the financial hardships that these people will have to face.
Okay.
So this is for US market or India you were discussing?
India. I mean, my focus was on India.
Okay.
It is Indian.
Got
US
it.
में ऐसा नहीं होता है. They have a different scheme altogether, right?
In
Yeah.
US also this delay is
Their
there.
healthcare is very different, but
No, I'm talking about two things. Okay, so one is the social security benefits disbursal. Okay, and healthcare is a different thing, right? So,
okay.
social security, everyone in the US who's a citizen is entitled for social security benefits. But what Sujay is saying, even there also,
Acha.
there are problems. This is a universal problem. Everywhere this problem is there. Over there, it is a little more sort of, less painful than what it is here because our size and scale. So, yeah. Okay. Divya,
I would say very well put together. I like lot of star points I was feeling. It was very connecting and really excellent.
okay. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. What can be improved?
What can be improved? I mean, it's very how to say, it's already lot of well put together.
Only Emaji can improve it.
No, not like that. So, not like that. So,
The
yeah.
experience of Emaji can come in picture, I think.
Yeah.
I would like to share it with Emaji. Your stories.
I think we should create a framework out of Kalyan's sheet and then make it connect to senior levels. I think then if we tell that story, it will be more impactful.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's all we need. I mean, everything else. I mean, I think we
just want an
have
update on that.
we have the data and information, but like telling the story, of course, is the
Yeah. So that will come later. Narrate.
That will come. It is in a process, like this is the first draft.
Yeah, I got it.
So it will keep on getting upgraded. I mean, time and again. Why?
So-
Because this is his very first, and he's done quite enough number of stories also.
Yes.
That is very good.
Yeah,
Uh,
so if you narrate these in those sessions that we have, right? And then if you improve your narrating skills on top of
correct,
this,
correct.
make
Because
it
at the end of the day, remembering what to speak when and that 90 seconds window, because the concentration of the person is also very less. If he is taking 3 minutes to speak that each one, it is actually losing,
Correct.
our attention. So what
Yeah.
is important now is that he has to work it to make it little concise and
Yeah.
yes, upgrade anytime. Obviously, upgrade and upgrade and upgrade as much as he can. That is very much required, but that will happen over a period of time. This is just the first draft, which he has done very good, which I feel that, Kalyan, you've done a very good job.
Excellent.
And coming out with 25 itself, I thought everybody will come with 5 and nobody even cut.
Yeah, 25 is not easy.
Yeah. But Sujay, you
Right.
also, like put in some stories and put in your, lifetime, what all achievements are there, or you have a sheet of your achievements. And
Yeah,
then, you can also work it out even using the help of a Gen AI.
got it.
But
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least do that, like bring in, take our help. We are there. Do something, but start building. At least start from 5, have 10, have 15, and then everybody needs to upgrade because it will be the first draft, then second draft, then third draft. That betterment can be always done, but yeah, and the time fixing.
Yeah, so
Time fixing is running.
I worked on something like this before. I can just share.
Yeah, pull it out. No, that is what I'll share. I'll give you the access.
Yeah, but this is not so organized. Let me share
Doesn't
anyway.
matter. It's okay. Even if it's a rough draft, even if it is written by pen and pencil, it's perfectly fine. It might give some window to somebody, some light. Divya, raise your hand. Yes, tell me.
I have one question. So since like the AI is pretty new and like MCP and all just came out, so how can we add that if we want to add something like that?
Okay, I'll tell you. I mean, maybe Sujay is better, but I'll tell you. So you have to show the differentiation, right? So the differentiation is what is in terms of the impact. Okay. So how do you show the impact? If let's say you're building an app, right? For example, you're building an app with MCP server, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, previously, to build that app, if it took, let's say, if it took for you 2 months, right? And if you include the cost of the infrastructure also in building that app, right? So you have to sort of, provision infrastructure in terms of a server, and you put the IDE, you put the tools, you all know, right? I mean, Eclipse or, any other IDE, and then you have to build the components. You need to have a web server and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, so it is taking about, let's say, 200 hours, and it is taking $20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now with what you have built with the MCP server, etc., you are able to do it in 20 hours and in let's say $500. $20,000, $500, right? And taking 2 months versus 2 days. So that is the impact. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Sujay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is something which I wrote, but this I felt again the same feedback I was telling Kalyan. It was from this same thought process. After writing this, I felt this is more tactical and it was not connecting. And I was using this in interviews as well. So one is, this was an exercise where 120 people were involved. And it later on, after 2 years, it started generating around 30 million per year. Okay. So, and I was not sure how to put this, I was driving this entire thing and I was more worried about performance of the system, how many records we processed and what was the speed of the system, what was the security aspects we introduced. So but these three made sense. The large scale architecture, which went into a team building aspect, performance impact. Now, of course, I need to rewrite this, more connecting to the revenue impact, and also in this team, right, which I later on remembered in one of the discussions, I think, in here only. There were 7 or 8 members in that team who joined as senior developers, tech leads. Eventually, they become directors in our team, different teams in that 3 year span. So there was a large transformation about the people actually. It happened in this process. So that I didn't mention. So one thing I have to, if I had to rewrite this, so this was about one line. What we are doing is, in Verizon, there are 145 million customers in US. So Verizon started a lab called Verizon Lab, and out of this 140 million, so they will remove all the government employees, all those Washington people and all, and then around 120 million mobiles apps. So in each mobile, there'll be like 100 apps. So whenever an app is interacting with the server from the network, they will take this data and anonymously they will store, and then we will process that. And it was used by Facebook and Yahoo for advertisement targeting, right? So that was this project. So that because of it is first-hand data and the behavioral pattern is clear, this audience for targeting, it was very valuable. That's why it was able to fetch the revenue. So what I was trying to say is, when I rewrite this, instead of scale, challenge, real-time requirements, data quality, I want to emphasize on how the team got transformed, how many leaders created out of this process, how it was impacting the revenue, and how it became a standard. And this entire product we sold to another telco, America Mobile, in Central and South America, and that is this project. So their scale was even bigger because it was across multiple countries, and they were able to make more revenue out of this product consistently. So that also, I put this in a very technical kind of format, and I need to rewrite. So these are the stories. I don't know, it makes sense. So one is this the large scale architecture and building the product for 3 years, and then selling that to another large telco into 3 countries and making it operational. And then this is another capability which we built between Verizon and Yahoo. So this was about migrating, like whatever Kalyan was telling in one of those cases, migrating from Oracle, Teradata, and relational databases to migrating that to a big data analytics platform and making Verizon's business more ease with making the analytics available, making the AI models more useful and things like that. So these are the 3 stories I wrote, but it's all in the technical kind of space.
Okay, so Sujay, my take is what you have to reformat or what you have to bring about is you have to put this situation in perspective. Okay, right? So let's say when we talked about in this particular case, if the entire end-to-end processing was taking 9 hours, what was the business impact of it? So what is the revenue loss because of this long 9-hour processing, right? So quantify that. You can say that current situation is processing the jobs, the batch workflows, the data, etc. in a 9-hour window was resulting in so much loss, right? And the challenge was to reduce this to about 2 hours or so that the customer realizes more revenue and that put some, you can be fictitious, that's perfectly fine. You can
Correct.
sort of, nobody is going to exactly question you on those numbers. So you can put that number there, right? And let's say if you were to process those and then bring them down to 2 hours, this is going to be the revenue impact, right? That's the situation, right? And with that situation, so these were the tasks that were done, and there you can say that the team became innovative. The team sort of, this was a challenge to the team, and the team rose to the challenge and came up with innovative solutions and iterated on those solutions to ensure that, maybe in the initial first iteration, you did not go down from 9 hours to 2 hours. It probably came down to maybe 7 hours or 8 hours. But then the team again iterated. So over the course of those iterations, they challenged themselves, and then that increased their credibility in front of the customer continuously, and that resulted them growing up that ladder and becoming from, let's say, senior developers to the directors, so that they were able to take upon those challenges and address them, right? So you can bake in that aspect into your results. So tasks, actions, results, learnings. So if you put it that way, then it becomes right. I mean, you can sort of
Got it.
yeah. So you can sort of abstract some of those technical details, okay, and technical details a little bit, and bring about the stats and the metrics and the impact, right? So that's it. Then you're done.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
So
And you keep saying that you did it, right? I think in the
Yeah.
earlier stage,
Correct,
in the
correct.
earlier discussion, you said I was a part of it. They don't know the exact thing, right? So you can say you have driven, you were at the core of it, you were driving the whole thing. Right? Even, for example, even the 3 developers who got into the role of directors, I drove them and we achieved this, and based on their performance, I recommended them for the position of directors. You can take that.
Correct.
It will
Got it.
show that you appreciate and you move people to the next levels as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can take credit for all of that.
Today,
True.
can you share the sheet with me?
Share, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and WhatsApp.
Yeah, I think the Excel format that Kalyan has used, it's excellent. It kind of compartmentalizes into, in fact, the way I have structured, Gitanjali, what I have shared with you, I've got about 10 scenarios that she shared. So we've structured it in a way that the star format comes in. But the Excel is, I think it's a brilliant idea.
Even I have shared one sample of star format in the WhatsApp group. If you all can have a look later, no problem.
So the document that I sent you, it's got.
You want me to just, I'll share
So
it.
everybody, I mean, it's basically that we do by the star format. It simplifies things. And to remember the story also while narrating, we can use, like star, we remember as an abbreviation, right? So likewise, we can do abbreviation for the stories as well. The 3 points. Yeah, so we just scroll down. No, the next. So there are about these 10 scenarios. We can add more. I think, Kalyan, the next thing would be probably to map the stories to the questions that you are most likely to be asked. every question could have multiple responses. You can map them. Maybe you need to insert a column which's got this question. So this is one scenario where you are asked, tell me about a time you had to solve a complex problem with limited information. This is
Right.
what goes into the star is what is given here.
Right. So okay. So my thought process was I started with the lessons learned. Okay.
Yes.
So that I am familiar with those situations. Right now, what I'll do is I'll probably also take this into account. I think
You
these
can put the
scenarios.
questions there.
Yeah.
That's actually the right way. You have your experiences listed and you can fit your questions here now.
Yeah.
There could be more stories to one question, or each story can answer. It can be like.
Yeah. Those questions, I mean, I think if they're there in the document, then what I'll do is I will, okay. So influencing without authority, resilience and owning failure, problem solving under pressure, leadership and drive change. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay.
We can fit our stories against the star.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm liking it. Thank you. So this was very helpful. And yeah, so if we improve and then build on top of this, I think I believe in this, and this is going to be the fastest way to crack the interviews and then have that experience is what I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Right then, let's work for your next draft then.
Do we do something like, do we commit something for what we have done today? I'll have 10 of my stories in place. Kalyan has gone beyond, way beyond. But what is it that we could commit? Like, I'm going to have 10 stories in place for all the 10 scenarios. Likewise.
Do you want to put it in the group and share it? Yeah.
No, we just, Sujay can say something, Neil can say something. Maybe
Okay, let me.
I don't know if I have so many
have to do
stories.
25 because Kalyan has done 25. But if we say I'll do 2, then the 2 have to be in
10
place.
is good.
Yeah, 10 is good, but I'm just saying, if we are time pressed and things like that, like Sujay can say, I have 3 of my scenarios, I'll fix those scenarios. Right?
Yeah. I'll work on it. Yeah.
You can start with that, like
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Likewise.
Okay.
So this slide is there in the group, Geeta ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll add more questions and more solutions to this.
Yeah.
There's just some upfront, most frequent. So, good.
Yep. Sujay, I shared with you something in the WhatsApp.
Sure.
Okay, anything else? Any more?
Thank you so much, Geetanjali ji, for putting together this session. This was very much needed, and I think a couple of these are needed. And so if you have this completely solidified, be a big success, big win.
Correct.
Yeah, so Sujay, you can share your challenge 2 and challenge 3 and all, and I can work on that also and give it to you at least in start format. Then you start upgrading from there,
Okay.
at least, because you will have the start, like I shared one star method for you for your
Okay.
problem one. Similarly, you give me other ones, and I
Sure.
will share them with you so that you start your upgrade. I mean, at least start working on that. Let us have, by the time we are able to show to Hemaji, we have something like 5 stories in place or 10 stories in place. I am
Okay.
here to help you. You just draft it and send, even if in a rough format. I will try and build it for you.
Okay. Okay.
Neil, if you also want to do that, if you're there. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
there?
I will also draft few stories, maybe.
Draft few stories at least. Then
Yeah.
we'll try to break it up into star method, and then we will see the impact of it. And then we also have to practice 90 seconds for each, and how you, again, modulation is very important. You speak something very big and your face doesn't show, it doesn't work. It has to have that, come out on your face and it resonate with you and look real, because people judge you from what you're speaking and what your face is expressing when you are speaking that.
Yeah. Correct.
That makes the other person really believe. You can speak a lie also, but speak it in a way that you own it, then you own it. So
Yeah.
that's very important. Nobody's going to go back and check in your past company whether you did this or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So important is how you present, how you speak.
Oh, correct. That fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Practice
And
here, and you
see
make it in the interview.
see that, and people talk about the secret manifestation. It's all the same thing.
Yes.
It's all the same
Even
thing. Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
called lying, Gitanjali. It's not called lying.
It's not called
Yeah,
lying.
actually.
It's manifesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Making it happen. Yes. Yeah. True. Okay, I will correct my word. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, that's what we all do now. होने वाला है ये. This is gonna come.
Always, but yeah, where required.
Correct.
Where required, huh? Obviously, you will not speak anywhere else.
I never lie. I've never lied, actually.
Even I have never lied.
It's just that I don't tell the truth sometimes.
Because it shouldn't go back and somewhere it opens up in our conversation only. But yeah, when you're speaking here, you have to prepare yourself in such a good way that it leaves an impact.
Yeah. So to crystallize it and then to get to that final state, it'll take at least 2 to 3 sessions.
2 more sessions.
Okay.
Yes.
So
We can work
that is
another 2
needed.
Sundays with you.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is needed. At least 2-3 sessions are needed. And once that is there, that bank is there,
Boom. Then you should all come with flying colors.
okay.
You all will come. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you then.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Neilji,
Thank
you
you.
also get the
Thank
story
you.
in place, and I think for the rest others also. If you can help others if you are okay with posting them in the group, once you're ready with it, because it will just motivate others, those who are not able to create this format and all. And obviously, they're not going to copy your ideas because it cannot match with their profile. But it will help.
You're asking me to put it in the group? That's what you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when Sujay is ready and when Neil is ready, put it in the group. Because let's help others, those who are not able to make it. Sometimes copying from the homework also helps. We are here to help each other, push each other, and make everybody successful. So let's do it. Okay. Okay, then.
That's good.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Very
everyone.
good. All right then. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Tomorrow is Monday, 5:45. We will connect again. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kitty, you want to stay back 1 second? The way you can do it. तो अच्छा था सेशन आज आपने तो
Good
presentation
session.
बनाया था अरे वाह मस्त वाला बनाया आप तो ऐसे ही आप तो बोलना मैं तो प्रेजेंटेशन करूंगी
We'll add more scenarios to this.
हाँ,
And,
now you're inspired by 25, huh?
so
नहीं,
we're
good, very
excellent,
nice
yeah. Too good.
presentation,
The
man.
day is too good.
Kalyan made 25, and it's easier when you put it on an AI and ChatGPT, put your resume and say what are the
Hey, उतने stories
achievements.
होने चाहिए ना? Those are real stories, no, from him.
हाँ
Suraj.
हाँ, नहीं वही उसके
ChatGPT
resume
कहाँ
में
से
उतना
देगा?
उतना
तुम
डाल
कुछ
के
आप
आप
कुछ
का
prompt
resume
दोगे
डालोगे
तो
उतना डाल के रखा होगा, हाँ obviously 25 होंगी उसके पास।
है, बहुत अच्छा है। लिस्ट
तो
करके इसको स्टार फॉर्मेट में एक्सेल में डाल के दोगे
और
तो
इसको टॉप
आगे आएगा।
एक्चुअली टॉप 9 याद रख लो, उससे ज्यादा इंटरव्यू का टाइम भी नहीं होता। नोबडी स्पेंड्स मोर देन एन आवर विथ यू,
Right.
है ना? सो दैट इज द टाइम टू बैंक ऑन, एंड टॉप 9 याद रखो, बस बहुत है।
सही है।
So,
अच्छा,
good.
और add more, I mean, if you have scenarios, I'm asking you because they are discussing what they have gone through in the interview, no? That's why I asked you for the questions. Kalyan has gone through, Anil had gone through, whatever interviews they have gone through, they are sharing with you, no? So
Oh,
that's why,
questions,
that's the reason
okay.
I'm asking you, what are the questions, what are the scenarios?
Oh, अच्छा, that's what you were asking.
ये 1 से 10 जो है ना, ये जो वो नहीं
अरे
है
वो
क्या ये?
आपने क्लैरिट, अच्छा सॉरी, 1 minute, let me stop. One is share, one is recording.